Produced by a journeyman.
Time for a new adventure. And with every new adventure, we must always ask two questions. Who are we fighting for, and who are we fighting? Well, the first question is for you to answer for yourself, but the second one has already been decided. Welcome to a story unlike any you have ever heard before. A story told from the other side of the alignment chart. In a world filled with marvelous stories of your favorite heroes, let's hear a story about the villains. They are the big, bad, evil guys. They are the foes that stand in the way of justice and peace. They are the weight class to which all evil is now measured. Follow along the story of our villains, and then maybe, just maybe, you could be the one to stop them. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Knights and Shining Armor, brought to you by the Knights at the Nerd Table. We've got a fun one for you this evening. So first, I'd love to introduce you to our three villains, super awesome, amazing adventurers. I'm going to ask that they introduce themselves, but not their characters just quite yet. So we had a great fun time concluding what we call Chapter 1 in the last episode. And so if you're jumping in, this is your first episode, that's totally fine. You're gonna be able to pick kind of up what's going on, pick up what's being laid down. But would still love to encourage you, go back and watch all those episodes. We had a blast recording them. They're a lot of fun, and they finally made it out. So I'm gonna let these guys introduce themselves, who they are. You can tell who you're playing, but that's it. So go ahead. Let's start with. Let's get it over with and out of the way, Mr. Mason Sayer.
Sup, I'm Mason. I have strep throat and pink eye and a nasal drip, and I'm ready to play some Dungeons and Dragons.
And what's the name of your character?
Oh, I play Theresis.
Excellent. And how about to your boy Drew?
What's up? It's your boy Drew, Jared's grandma's favorite, and I play Goffrey.
And last but not least, I don't know why I paused there. Last but not least,
For dramatic effect.
as far as I'm concerned, the most handsome, Mr. Jared, would you introduce yourself and the name of your character?
Hi. Hello. It's your boy Jared. Glad to be here. It's everybody's grandma's favorite except my own, apparently. So just glad to be here. Playing being the official voice actor and in the driver's seat of your boy Ivar.
Yes. Three fantastic characters. Let's get to know them a little bit. But first, we're going to intro. I'm going to tell you guys a story. You guys are always storytellers. I'm going to flip the script and tell you just a short little, we'll call it a short story, so you can get cozy and get your sippy and follow along with me along this very short narrative. Are you gentlemen ready to play some Dungeons and Dragons?
Been born ready since 1993, baby.
Sick. Let's tell a story. Chapter 2. Evil Awakens. Dawn's first light had finally found its way through the cracks of the beaten window of Leora's room. As it gently warmed the skin of her face, she awoke with the realization that she was indeed already running behind. If dawn was already upon her, then surely she must hurry to make up for lost time. She sprinted out of her tiny room into the common area where her mother was beginning breakfast. "Sorry, Mother, no time. I'm already late," she said. She grabbed a slice of warm bread and burst out the door. She flew down the spiral staircase that connected the second-floor apartment to the earthy ground that was still cool from the night air. As she raced down the path towards the outskirts of town, she looked up at the morning sky for just a moment. "Red sky in morning, sailors take warning," she thought to herself, and the sky was indeed sweeping with a crimson unlike she had ever seen before. Just then, she stumbled into a short, stout figure that was blocking the path before her. "Hey there, lass. Best watch your step off in a hurry like that." "Oh, sorry, Thagrin. I didn't mean to run into you there." Thagrin was a hefty dwarf, filled with scars and each scar told a story. He was often captivated his audiences with war stories telling tales of all the monsters he had slain in his day and the evil he had put to rest. But once we started turning our attention to the foes in the north, I had me some problems, setting brother against brother like that, so I sought retirement instead. Now fishing's the game, still gives me a thrill every now and again, you know. That's what he would say. And where would you be off to in such a hurry, young captain? Leora loved it when Thagrin called him that. After all, she wanted to be just like him. Leora dreamt of nothing more than to be a heroic soldier someday, and she only had 3 more years. Then she could set out to pursue her lofty goal. I've got to go check my traps in the woods. Twice now that Badger has broken them open, and in the morning, before I could get to them, he's gotten the rabbits inside. I'm tired of finding empty, broken traps around those bloody Badger footprints. I will stop him no matter what, she said, gripping her makeshift club that she'd fashioned out of an old table leg. Oh, now badgers are often a fierce warrior-type animal, young captain. Better take this along instead. Thagrin reached into his bag and pulled out a small dagger. Use this, but only if you're in danger. Suddenly, a voice called to both of them from across the road towards the woods. Hey, you better not be giving out weapons to young folks looking for trouble now. It was old Miss Eliza. Mind your business, witch. The whole town knows you're crazy, and no one would you believe you anyhow. Thagrin shot Leora a wink and started to usher her away down the path. Leora was beaming with pride as she tucked her new weapon into her belt, hiding it out of plain sight, just in case any other nosy townsfolk tried to impose their curiosity on her. She headed for the hills and the woods that lied just beyond them and quickly came to her first trap. It was set beside a large oak tree that often had many game trails running around it. It was empty. She moved to her second trap. This one was a little closer to the woods and was pleasantly surprised to find it had done its job. Inside, she found a small, dead rabbit. Perfect. Look at that coat. Should fetch a wonderful price at the market. She had one trap left to check, and this one was her favorite. You see, out in the woods, closer to where the woods met the mountains and met the rocks, there was one particular place the children of the village were forbidden to go to. It was close to the coast, and while many adults had said the reason for the lectures kids would get if they went too close was because of how close it was to the coast, that tongue twister, she decided, was not the reason why. Once, while she was searching for a place to set traps, she found the most remarkable thing. She had found a door. Not just any door. It was something special, the kind you read about in adventure books. No matter how hard she tried, she was never able to move it, let alone even leave a mark or a scratch on it. She even went so far one time as to use a magical scroll on it, and the door never moved. It never even left a mark. She placed her last trap right next to it, giving it often reason to check on it. So she started down the long walk, down the path she had made so often from walking it. As she got close to her final trap, Leora started to get that feeling inside her stomach. It was as if the very depths of her soul, the powers that be, knew something she did not, as if they were trying to warn her. As she got closer, she started to feel that feeling evolve from an uncomfortable curiosity to almost a form of dread. She thought she heard voices coming from the small clearing where the trap and the door was. As she approached, the voice inside her soul was screaming, "Turn back! Run away!" But is that what a brave warrior would do? Is that what Thagrin would do? No. She would press on. As she approached the final bush, she began to hear murmuring coming from the clearing. Something about one of them needing to find the ocean. Will all 3 of you please make perception checks?
Ooh, not bad, not bad, not bad.
Very bad, very bad, very bad.
Honestly, kind of mid 12. Your boy's not the greatest in perception.
4.
20. Dirty.
Dirty.
That's the boy right there.
I
Oh,
prefer
right.
20.
As she sees the figures in front of her, she pulls out her notebook and begins to describe exactly what she sees. Goffrey, you notice some rustling in the bushes not too far beyond where you're standing with the rest of our villains. You've just broken out of prison. You crossed through the dungeon of the underneath, through long stretches of caverns and caves, and finally found daylight on the other side. With the help of some dimension door to escape a confrontation that seemed troublesome, you and your companions made it out the other side. You were holding two and his lifeless body in your arms.
The sunlight is beautiful.
Indeed it is. But as you notice the bushes rustling, please describe what this young girl sees as she approaches our party of villains.
You just want me to describe myself?
Yes, please describe what Goffrey looks like in appearance.
Quick question: what is the weather like? Is it warm here right now?
It is
Fall,
warm.
cold.
There is it's warm. There's a coastal breeze that comes
Okay.
through, but it is a sunny day. One would say beautiful.
I'm essentially wearing the outfit of Orlando Bloom from the good old movie Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh,
So kind of like
Classic.
Taylor's
Love
pants
it.
with the
Classic
kind of
Bloomy.
poofy white shirt kind of tucked in. I have like the scraggly kind of scruffier beard, not too long. It's kind of like that perfect 5 o'clock shadow, like handsome vibe. A great jawline, a proud look on my face, and then hair long enough to pull back in a ponytail, but not like crazy long, with some of the strands kind of hanging down because I'm kind of sweaty and a mess from holding a tattooed Tiny 2 over my shoulder.
fantastic. You notice this bush start to rustle. However, the other two party members do not. But, Jared, please describe
Ooh.
Ivar and how she would see this. Well, I'm just going to give the floor to you.
Oof. I think Ivar to a little girl. You know that feeling when you see something that feels otherworldly or that feels terrifying to behold, and you feel like the airlessness in your throat and the hair standing in the back of your neck?
All the time.
I feel like that's the feeling she might get when she sees a 7 foot tall, a little over 7 foot tall Leonin figure, muscular build, dark grayish black fur with a very black mane, matted, scars from head to toe, scars a lot on his face from what you can see, a lot of iron plating for his body. Not anything that really matches one thing or another. It seems like it's different pieces of plate armor from different sets of armor. With then on his left arm, running from almost his hand between his fingers all the way down up into his shoulder is leather-esque wraps, some sort of material wrapped with pieces of bladed knives, broken swords, axe heads, half pieces of Morning Star. On his shoulder is a Loxodon skull as a shoulder pauldron. And then on his right arm, still patches, of pieces of metal kind of just woven together, patchwork style. And then around his belt and off his belt, Ivar doesn't really care for stealth. He has different medallions, holy symbols, pages of tomes and things dangling from his waist that are spell focuses. And you begin to realize everything on Ivar's person is a trophy taken from a kill. And on his waist, a rather large sword. Not a great sword, but the blade, there's the hilt, the sheath, there is no sheath. It is just through a leather strap, and the blade is more serrated than edge. And from years of battles and fights with some sort of ancient writing going down it. And the biggest thing that people would realize and see is above from his forehead down to his jaw is these runes carved into his face, one by one, that kind of pulsate with a certain different color energy with reds and blues and whites. But it's very faint. To be a sight to behold.
I peed a little. Mason. The note as her hands shaking, trying to take in the details.
Should see more of a guy.
Just a guy being a lad.
Just a guy being a dude, honestly. 6, 1-ish lad, with not like pale skin, but almost like the skin is like ash. If it like it's not like pure white. It's not like a ghostly white, but there's no tanness to it. But it feels like ashy because there's a little bit of that like darker like gray to it. Besides the skin, he has a not a tunic. What's the one shoulder kind of Greek and Roman toga? It's a red toga with accents of like black. And then all sorts of belts. You can see like chainmail tucked underneath the toga. And then any parts that are like metal, you can see like gold highlights. The gold pieces on things like belts and little buttons and things like pauldron, like the one side that doesn't have the toga going across the pauldron with the kind of armored arm having kind of each edge that's metal has gold highlights. You can see a lot of his chest because of the way that his outfit goes, and you can see tattoos kind of down his arm, the one arm you can see. In anyone with like knowledge of like ancient language might be able to read it, but to most people it just looks like designs and symbols and things. It is black and red, occasionally like in the right sunlight looks like it like pulses gold up his arm. He's standing in fitted kalage, which are sandals. The straps kind of the same kind of black motif. And then really him as a person isn't incredibly intimidating. It's the great sword that he's currently holding that is like the size of him, that he's easily swinging around without almost a care. As one of his eyes, similar to mine tonight, is like a red bloodshot, where the other one is green. Kind of blonde hair with like red streaks through it. Kind of a guy.
Vibe.
That is a vibe. One thing in my notes, I did forget to give Jared. Actually, you had an advantage on that, and I'll explain that potentially in a moment. So if you could give me that perception check with advantage, that would be great.
Oh, way better. That's an 18.
Okay. So Andrew, you hear this rustling in the bushes. Ivar catches a scent on the wind that is like just almost familiar, but like you can't quite place it. But you do smell or sense a presence because of that. What would you guys like to do next?
So we're heading to the ocean, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to like kind of stop for a second and be like, "Did you guys hear that?"
No.
Thought I smelled something.
Alien will
Can I
take a second
tell-
to kind of turn around and look. There's nothing
I-
here.
I really need to get to the ocean. I don't really have time for this, but I really
I'm
also
really
don't.
hungry.
I don't want to be followed either.
There's someone here.
Do you want me to take care of it?
Ivar, if you would please, just I heard it kind of from that direction, and I point towards the rustling.
Ivar gets down on all fours and begins to sniff and skulk in the direction of the scent.
You catch it pretty quickly, and also seeing Goffrey point, the bush rustles dramatically, and you can hear the sound, the pitter patter of little feet running away.
Stop running or you get a sword through your back.
Intimidation. Roll intimidation.
I would like to help in that.
Yeah, can I have advantage?
Just
as
stand
a
there
giant
and
black
you do.
cat is like
I
on
would
all
say I
fours.
probably, if I hear her running away, could cover the distance and cut her off
Yeah.
on all fours.
I'll take the advantage. Of
I am
night.
continuing to march towards the coast.
Yeah.
By the way, I've not even
it's a
stopped. I'm just like,
dirty 20 in Tim.
Absolutely. Not too difficult at all. She freezes in fear, seeing Ivar cut off her path, and hearing the sword. She completely freezes. You now see a precious young-looking girl. She has curiosity in her eyes that are currently overtaken with fear. She's short, thin, long blonde hair. And again, there is something about her, Ivar, that just now even seeing her, it just there's like a familiarity to it.
Child, your options here are either that man over there eats you, or you don't tell anyone what you saw here today. Those are your two options, and I will know.
She smells familiar.
I
Smells
won't tell.
familiar?
I won't tell anyone.
I will know.
Where do I know you from?
I don't know.
Child,
I've
what is
never-
your name?
My name is Leora.
Is she just a human?
She is just a human. She is completely captivated with Ivar's presence, and only
I am circling on all fours
I'll
still.
leave this to you. I'll find a friend, and I'll head after Goffrey.
What is your full name?
she does see Mason, or she does see 3CS.
There's a mason here too.
Yes.
Dang it.
Woodworking.
Divinating him.
Bad DM. Bad DM.
I
She
chuck
sees
my sword at him.
3CS. And she kind of gets a puzzled look on her face, and then she responds to Ivar's question. My name is Leora Blewett.
Oh, good. You can have that one.
And you put a few pieces together
I remember.
when you were
Dr. Blewett.
rummaging through the desk of Dr.
Oh.
Blewett. There was a picture of his family.
oh my gosh.
That has caught Tiresias' attention just a little bit, but he is still going to leave it to Ivar.
Please. Legitimately, these words come from her mouth. Please, I can help. Just don't eat me. Whatever you need, just please don't eat me.
How can you help?
I don't know. What do you need? Where are you going? I know these woods. really well, like so well that people always ask me where to find things in the woods, and I know. So,
While this conversation is happening, I want to just keep some things moving in the background. So I would like to think while this conversation is happening, I'm trying to get information from her. I like to think that Goffrey is doing his thing. So while she's rambling, I just want to make sure we have some cohesion going on.
yep.
So I'm trying to
yeah,
think of what I want to do.
I'll catch up with Goffrey.
All right, I'll give you a moment. Godfrey, where are you headed?
I just want to go right to the coastline, and I'm gonna take care of two whose bodies there. So I guess am I
Sure.
close?
Immediately exiting that those doors and stepping into the sunlight, you notice that to your back is a lot of high, jagged rocks. You can see a clear, thick, but warm and inviting wooded area in front of you, and you do feel a breeze, probably coming across what would be from feels like maybe it's coming from the southwest, and you, familiar with the sea air, can smell the salt of it sort of kind of brush across your nose. So you would probably say, I'm not quite sure exactly where to go, and there's a giant wall of jagged rocks behind me, which is unfortunate because I think that's kind of where I'm trying to get to.
You think I'm trying to get over the rocks, or I'm walking away from the rocks towards the water?
It is high above you, so you've exited the door, and as your back, there is a high cavern wall behind you.
Okay. So you're saying I probably have to go over the wall? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, you would have to get around or over the wall somehow to really get a sense of exactly where the sea salt air was coming from.
Okay. I guess I kind of hear the commotion happening there, and I'm just gonna set two down against the wall and walk back over to where those guys are.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'll come since I was coming back for him. I'll go. We found someone we might be interested in talking to. At the same time, we may just take care of. Do you need a moment here? Because whatever's happening over there is not as important as a friend, especially in death.
I'm gonna kind of sit there for a second, and I'll kind of put my finger up, and I'm gonna turn, and I'm gonna like kind of scratch the back of my head, and then I'm just gonna snap, and I'm casting sedition, and all of a sudden where two's at, it looks like he's just floating in water, and I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna look, just kind of stare at the wall of water, and I'll just say, "All right, two. I promise you, I'd bring you home. Never friends, but never enemies." And I'm gonna turn and just like kind of leave him floating there, and walk back with you guys.
I feel like there's some feel from high school. I'd like to say that. Never friends, but never see ya.
We'll head back over.
And we'll be like, "So what did we find? What's going on?"
I believe Dr. Blewett's daughter.
The dude.
Yeah,
the dude from the prison.
The one that was, interviewing us. So that should be interesting because I'm pretty sure I left her alone with Ivar. So 50-50 on the way back if she's alive or not.
Well, I didn't get a chance to kill Blewett. Ivar got to kill him, so
That's true. We could
this
take
might
this
be my
opportunity
shot.
here.
Oh my god!
And I'm just gonna walk ahead past Tiresias towards the commotion.
During this time, Ivar is circling her still on all fours. Where are we?
You're in the woods. You know, we call them the Lost Woods, but they have like a real name, and I know it. But you're just outside of the town of Wellspring, and not too far, but we're right towards the coast. Is the other side of those rocks is the coast, and one of the many, 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 many seas that exist in this world. It just lies beyond those rocks, but we're not a 2 hours walk from Wellspring Village right now.
Good.
Did she say Lost Woods?
Yeah, they call them the Lost Woods, but
Walking back.
everyone just calls them
Diresias,
that because it's easy to get lost in them. But
do you smell fear? Because I do.
I rely on your nose for that sense.
Fear makes me hungry. Now,
Girl, what's your name?
my name is Leora, and she takes a big breath. She sighs, exhales slowly, and almost a wave of composure comes across her. And she says, "And I'm not afraid."
That's dumb. Fear makes you strong. Fear keeps you alive. This is the thing that you should be afraid of, is him. You should be afraid. That's wrong.
I am dragging Rhinox's body out of the grass by my teeth.
Her knees begin to shake as this now lifeless body of a giant individual is being tossed around like a rag doll. But
Child,
her
what
face
are you
and her
doing
shoulders.
here?
About how old is she, or like how is she like a child?
Yeah, she's about, you can guess by the age, somewhere around 13, 14 years old.
Okay, are we going to use her for anything? Or should we
I
just kill her?
had questions I was going to ask.
Yeah, go ahead, Ivar.
Right?
What you got for us?
If you guys want to take over, I get it. Like, do you know this man? As I throw Rhinox's body in front of her.
She looks at him. She pulls out a journal and she starts kind of flipping through it, back and forth through pages. I don't know him, but that right there is a royal seal, and he's a big rhino guy, so he's... And she goes completely white. She goes,
Rhinox, the
"Oh my
king
God, you
of
killed Rhinox."
Valoria. Yeah, that's the one. Good work. Proud of you.
This Rhinox was killing the very same image of himself. I wouldn't trust your royalty. And then I'll ask, Wellspring is 2 hours away. Where's the next closest town?
Oh, that's on foot. You're probably looking at a full day, maybe days and a half journey if you miss your foot, get off the trail a little bit.
You seem
Wellspring's,
like to draw, small child. Do you have a map for us?
I don't have a map. I
Okay,
have
we'll
this.
take your journal.
Oh, but I...
Hand it over. Now.
I want to walk over, and I'm gonna like kind of put my hand, like, not aggressively, but just kind of put my hand up to Tiresias, and I'm gonna like pet Ivar as I walk past, and like run my hand through his fur, and I'm just be like, shh. And I want to walk up to her, and I just want to like kind of kneel down to her height, and
Good
maybe just
comeback.
like
Ivar's sitting for some reason.
I just want to like place my hand on her shoulder, and I'm just gonna look at her for a second and just be like, "You're safer if you listen to us."
Oh my god.
So please,
That's so based.
just answer my friend's questions, and everything's gonna be okay. Lafora, it'll be fine. I promise. And I'm just gonna kind of step back and be like, now, would you please draw my friend Threus a map?
She opens her journal, flips quickly to a blank page, pulls out a short little wand, flips it around like a pen, and begins to roughly quick north, south, east, west. Sort of a directional map, not a detailed path, but a directional map. If you can handle the terrain, you really should be able to just head about south by southwest ish, and you should get to the town. If you want to head in the opposite direction, honestly, just head straight north, and just head that way. And I really don't. I've never gone that far yet. I want to someday, but that's not really. I'll just stay on topic. Yeah, south by southwest is the direction of Wellspring.
May I just suggest, and I want to just kind of like tap her head, that the map is better suited by you just taking us there and doing as we say. And I want to cast suggestion at second level.
Yeah, baby. Yeah,
Yep.
baby.
Is that a charisma
Baby,
save?
yeah.
I
believe so.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a wisdom save.
Oh, wisdom.
There you go. I'll come
Just
over to
wanna give-
Ivar. He's a clever man.
it's fair. He's getting in the way of my lunch.
He is. He's using us as bad cops.
I know. It's all right. Hey, I don't like to be pet, but that felt really well. Like, that felt good. I don't know what it was.
I've
it felt
never
nice.
took you as one that I've never thought that would be something that any one of
Don't-
us would have done. I'm
don't pet
certainly
me.
not going to.
Thank you.
That was wild.
The ball's on that man.
Incredible. There's just something about him.
What's the Clark or Andrew? What's the spell save DC again?
16.
16. Okay. So she saves, but this is what
Okay.
she attempts to do. She attempts to make it seem like it worked. However, she crit failed on her deception check.
Perfect.
So
Can I handle
this
this
is
part?
kind of the scenario of, yes, master, right this way, master, and just kind of turns and starts walking.
As she turns, it's a nat 1, obviously. So I'm going to, as she turns, she's going to turn in my face. Is going to be right where she was standing, or where she turns to. And I say, those who carry daggers intend to use them. Now. And then Ivar, with a claw, runs it down her cheek. And as it gets to her cheek, just presses a little bit, drawing a little bit of blood. Now, I will be taking this. And I will pull the journal from her hand.
She lets it go freely.
Thank you. And I don't normally do this, but with the blood on her cheek, pain cleanses all. Pain grants strength. And I will place in her hand, in place of the journal, her father's glasses that I took.
He looks at them. First, a wave of confusion. And then she just begins to sob.
Oh, south by southwest, did you say? Thank you.
We move.
Gonna head that
And-
direction.
I'm going to head in that direction as well.
Theseus doesn't care. Mason's hurting, but
She
Theseus doesn't care.
I was like, I can't kill a kid. I
She
can't
stops
kill a
crying,
kid.
puts the glasses in her pocket, stands up, wipes tears from her face, gets a very determined look,
Porter, don't
and
make us kill a
begins
kid.
walking south by southwest. Yeah, follow me. And just starts walking in that direction.
But she's leading us.
And I want to turn to the guys and just kind of do like a little like curtsy bow and be like, "See, sometimes being nice helps." And I just want to turn and follow her.
That's wild.
Oh my
my
gosh,
God.
we're so close to killing a kid, and we're like 40 minutes in. Oh my gosh.
God. Dude, I've never had to do such hard creative role playing in my entire
Ugh.
life. I was like, how do I seem evil? I was like, please don't make me do this.
I still say that is pretty savage. And it's a bad thing. So Mr. Ivar can add 1 legendary resistance to your current stat line.
Wow.
So I add on top of them? Dang.
Hold on.
Just yep. Bad guys have legendary resistances. As she leads you guys down the trail, I, without any perception check, you can tell that she is visibly shook still and is fighting to control her emotions. But she is leading you, based on your general assessment, in the correct direction. The air smells right. Where the sun is, it's about midday at this point, or a little after. And as far as you can tell, you are headed off in the correct direction, and she is seemingly leading you there.
To keep her emotions in check, I'm assuming we're kind of walking behind her. I'm gonna kind of like again pat Ivar on the back and just kind of wink at him, and then I'm gonna walk up next to her, just kind of like hands in my pockets, kind of strolling next to her, be like, you know, Leonard, I once lost someone close to me, so I know exactly how you feel right now when someone you cared so deeply about that was just so important to you is gone. It's just one of those things where it's like, man, what do I do with all these feelings, right? And I don't want to feel this, and I don't want to think about this, and now you got to think about it. And you know, I carried my best friend for like a while, and he's gone, and I have to deal with that. I talked to him while he was dead. I have to deal with that. So if you ever need to talk, just know, all my friends call me Goffrey. You can call me Goffrey, call me Astrill, call me the Dread Pirate, whatever makes you feel comfortable. And I really appreciate that you're kind of leading us. Crazy weather we're having.
From the back. From the back, Ivar's like fingering through this tiny journal in his hands and goes, Goffrey, Ivar can't read. Please take this. And hands the journal. That is lore accurate. Ivar never learned how to read.
So I'll kind of be like, oh yeah, for sure. I want to like walk back. Can I kind of walk and look through the journal? Like, can I read what's in the journal?
Yeah. After that conversation, you grab the journal, and as you're flipping through it, it is a compilation of various observations about most everything, from the difference between poisonous and non-poisonous mushrooms to bird types and what they look like and maybe what their habits are. Everything. A lot about fish, types of fish, whether they're salt water or fresh water, whether they taste good or not, general observations, and then a good chunk that just seems to be more like journal entries than a collection of facts. So why don't you go ahead and give me? Well, we'll do that later. But as you're doing that, she kind of responds to your comments.
Okay.
She says, "My dad always taught me, don't believe anything you hear and only half of what you see.
Mm.
That big, scary man cat thing gave me broken glasses that kind of look like the kind my dad would. But he's at work and he's not here. So that doesn't mean I've lost anyone. It just means it could be a coincidence."
No, he's
I-
dead. No, he's dead. I killed him.
And I want to not even like looking up from the book, just be like, oh, Lapras honey, he's gone. But is this your journal? Did you write all this stuff in here? These are your
Yeah.
notes?
Yes, those are my notes. And I would appreciate it if you didn't read them. And could I please have it back?
Did you ever think that your
stops
dad's?
and
Did you
turns.
ever, and I'll kind of like stop real quick. Like, do you think your dad said you can only see believe half the things you see because he had to wear glasses? So when he wasn't wearing them, he could only really see things like half. Do you ever think that? And I want to like keep walking past her, like we're going this way, right? And just kind of go back to reading her journal.
She says, she just gets mad and tries to change the subject. Turn to page 253. I know who you are.
All right, I flipped to 253.
It is a collection of notes based around a few cases of a dread pirate ransacking the seas. Sort of newspaper-esque clippings and some general facts, just kind of all stuffed and pasted into it. It reads as such: another mercantile ship was taken by the alleged Goffrey Dread Pirate last week. This will be the third ship taken along this route during this season. Officials say they are organizing a specific task force to bring him to justice.
Ooh, bit of a fan here, huh? So you've heard of the Dread Pirate before?
I wouldn't say heard of. I just like to collect information.
You know what's crazy about that third ship? The first two had individuals survive. The third one, I don't actually know who made it off the ship and who didn't.
Well, I do.
And Lenny, what did you? Who made it off the ship?
I heard, and she again stops in the path in the most first movie Hermione Granger
Good.
voice you could say. I heard that the Dread Pirate was captured and taken to, and she stops. Redora.
Yeah. Where was I taken?
And she fights again. She fights back tears and reaches into her little pocket and pulls out the glasses again, and she actually puts them on, and she begins to cry because this is something that she's done before, and she's seen through these lenses. And as the world gets blurry for her, the moment of clarity arrives and settles. These are her father's glasses, and he is most likely dead.
Ivar, seeing this little girl break down,
almost looking into a mirror. Skulks over and kneels down. I've been where you are. Now. I've caused many of this reaction. Very few have I been sorry for. Very few have I regretted. I'm second guessing all of that now. But know that this could be a gift of freedom. Because in pain, there is freedom. Freedom from this emotion. Freedom from hurt and loss. But that is only found through pain. Now, I am not saying I am sorry. What I am saying is, I will not eat you.
She stares at you, conflicted with emotions. Gratitude being one of them. But she again takes that same breath, tries to straighten up.
Yes, use your pain.
Strike him down.
Strike him down. Do it.
She turns, puts the glasses away once again, and continues along the path.
I'm realizing now that she's our new NPC, and so she's coming with us.
She catches up to Goffrey and says, "What were you saying earlier about talking to the dead?"
Yeah, when my buddy died, he his one request is that I would see him in the afterlife, and so I just made sure that once he was dead, I brought him back for a couple moments and we talked. He claims, this might be unfounded, but he claims I was his best friend. But it was a really special moment, really special private moment. But,
Where does he get off claiming that?
But yeah. Why would you like to talk to your dad? I did have a thought, and I want to snap my fingers and hold out my hand, and I want a tiny image of Dr. Blewett to appear in my hand. Because I cast prestidigitation, and I just want it to hold it in front of her and be like, here, what would you like to say to your dad?
You mean like minor illusion?
Minor illusion is what I think he's doing.
Or just show a clean hand?
Prestidigitation, I can
Is
create
more clean.
an illusionary image that can fit in my hand. Like I could like.
Oh yeah, that's true. It can.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
true.
it's like
It
a
is the multi-tool.
hologram.
It is the multi-tool of spells.
It doesn't do any damage. It's just me being like, "Hey, kid," and I just want to just have like a mini, like army figure size, action figure size
this little girl into
image of Dr. Blewett. And I just want to hold it and be like, "What would you say to your dad?" He'd probably say something like this, right? Like, "Hey, kiddo, just talking to people, just talking to people. Miss you so much." And I just want to like hold it up to her. Go ahead.
She
On a technicality, this is a therapy trick. It's called the empty chair technique. You talk to the chair as if the person was sitting in the chair. So,
Well, Goffer doesn't know that. Goffer's trying to make things better.
yeah, I know. I know.
She actually says, who taught you this? This is the empty chair. Did my dad teach you this?
Yes.
The greatest therapist I've ever met.
She smiles. Yeah, he was pretty good. You know, he probably thought you guys had a little bit of good too. Except for you. And she looks at Ivar and she said, I think you're scary and I think he would have been very afraid of you.
Ivar just nods.
And
Yeah, I'm
she
pretty
looks at
sure-
Theseus and she says, and you? Strong silent type? He probably would have had a lot to say to you too. And as she stares at Theseus, again that puzzled look comes across her face and she just says, huh. Anyways, she carries along down the trail.
And I want to like look at the mini bluet in my hand. And I was gonna act like I stick it in my pocket and wipe my hands and keep flipping through the book.
Yeah, that's wild.
Do I? Because I realized that there's a page of me. Can I flip through and find a page of like Ivar? Can I be like?
You can
Yeah,
look.
I was like, how do I ask this without asking it? You know?
You want to do like a investigation or a perception, arcana, history?
Just
Um,
an investigation would probably be fine.
16.
Towards the back, not too far away from actually your page, there is nothing that specifically references Ivar, but there is another like almost newspaper clipping-esque thing.
Okay.
And it says it's in bigger letters than what yours was, almost as if this would have been more front page news.
That's fine.
It says the king is dead. Late last night, an assassin broke in, did away with the king's bodyguards, and he presumably fell to his death along with his entire guard company. The only survivor was the retired dwarf captain who came upon finding his 4 sons and the king all slain by the mystery assailant. While the assailant showed remarkable resemblance to the king, almost his opposite in every way, the origin and whereabouts, the origin of where he came from is unknown. Many high-level mages seek to discover where this entity came from and why his target was the king. And it is sort of like a very rough sketch, like bad sketch artist version of a giant black maned cat.
I just want to hold the book up and be like, Ivar, is this you?
Ivar squints. No. My
She
eyes
hands
are
you
too
the
close
she hands you the
together.
glasses. She hands you the try these.
Ivar squints and goes, no, my eyes are too close together in that image.
I swear this is a spitting image of you, friend. And I
Ivar
wanna, like, hold it
looking,
closer to his face.
and I look back at Leora, and it's almost a mirror image.
She kind of looks at Theseus and she says, "You've been so quiet this entire time."
Oh, sorry, I spaced out. Yeah, that's on me.
While you were out, there was a moment where you said nothing, and she made a joke about you being the strong silent type, but then again stared at you inquisitively very puzzled look on her face and was like, huh, and then continued on. This is all happening while Goffrey is flipping through her Dearest Diary journal and basically just looking for cool things or fun facts or things relevant to your party.
She's our new NPC, by the way. I'm
Lovely.
just claiming that now.
I'll continue to be a strong silent type while I rest my vocal cords.
Fair.
Yo, Lexus, how close are we? Like, we've been walking for a little bit now. We gotta be
Yeah,
getting
so
close.
you carry on, get to about the top half of the second hour of this awkward conversation, no conversation. Want to talk to your dead father? No, I don't want to talk to my dead father. Fun / riveting conversations.
Ivar is on
and
the
you-
opposite shoulder, by the way, inlaying into this shoulder, not the right shoulder, because the left shoulder is locked to the Hunskull. The right shoulder will be Rhinox's horn that he cut off from the last session as he's putting it in.
And you begin to approach the town of Wellspring. She gets to a place where she can kind of see it from a distance, and she says, "Well, there it is. Now what?"
Are you gonna introduce us to your friends here?
You killed my dad.
Yeah,
What?
we've already talked about that. We've helped therapy you through that.
Is there someone in particular you would like to meet?
I have a question real quick though. Do you have anything in this book on our friend Three Piece here? I haven't been able to find it.
And she stares at Three Piece. Just kidding. She stares at Theseus again. I don't think so. Technically, no. I think I've seen him before.
Death follows everyone.
So silent, and you say something like that, Three. You're crazy, man.
Can I just look at my journal real quick? I'll give it right back, I promise.
Normally I'd roll perception, but I'm just gonna do a quick flip
You
again.
tell her that.
Normally, I'd roll a perception check in real life.
And I'll just be like, you've been kind enough to lead us this far. You can look at your book again, but if you don't give it back when we say the big scary tiger thing is gonna bite you, and I'm gonna just hand it to her.
She takes it and she starts like thumbing back quite a few pages from where your chunk was. And
Well, child, I noticed you had a wand earlier. Are you about to try to teleport away from us? Because is that your spell book?
I do have some spells in here, but that's not what I'm doing.
Okay.
Because you said you'd eat me, and
Ivar
don't want
places
to
a
eat.
hand on her shoulder and goes,
I resent.
Did we get a short rest, by the way, or no?
Not yet, actually.
Okay.
She flips to, and she's in a specific section that is seemingly more journal-y than it seems to be more like day-to-day stories or adventures or things like that. And she flips to and just kind of reads again. They tricked me, and then I did it though. Lost a bet. Here it is. And she kind of stares at it, and then she flips, and there's a very, very crude drawing of a very old tree. It is very large, or at least the drawing would portray it to be, and there seems to be a door on the front of it. She kind of flips to the next page beyond that. Yes. She shuts it. She hands it back to Goffrey.
Thank you.
And she says, I think I've seen your picture. But not your picture. It was like you, but like not. So she kind of just waves her hands in front of you. All this, and like you kind of look, happy, and you had just like you look normal.
Are you talking to
And-
me?
Yeah, you. I think I've seen your picture before.
Okay.
That's why I think I recognize you, because I think I've seen a picture of you, but like maybe like a happy you.
I'm happy.
Sure. Her father's bringing home from work conversations kicking in. Sure. Happiness. Anyway, here's the town.
What are we doing in this town? We have people we need to kill.
Well, from my experience, towns are the best place to find people, or
That's
where they
true.
may be going.
That's accurate, because if they also escaped, they probably had to come through here as well.
Right.
Well, thank you, small child. You're more than welcome to follow along if you feel comfortable enough with the pirate man. And then he turns and walks towards his town.
Can I have my notebook back?
Yeah, you drew a map in here, and I like the stories you've written, and I'm just gonna follow 3-piece.
She's gonna tag along. That's a really important journal to her,
Yep.
and she's gonna.
If it's her
Start
spell
tagging.
book,
New NPC.
even more important.
New NPC. New NPC.
By kidnapping.
Yeah,
Hey,
get it. Like-
if anything happens to this little girl, Ivar has declared in his mind that he will empty the clip on a whole.
No, that's fair.
So,
So she leads you into town. You approach the.
she is imprinted on
wide.
Ivar.
You approach
Okay.
the wide open doors of Wellspring. Wellspring is a captivating blend of rustic charm
Nice.
and urban flavor.
I hate it.
It's nestled in this picturesque landscape, and this quaint village harmoniously merges tranquility of the countryside with the dynamic pulse of a busy city. It is renowned for its fishing opportunities. Everywhere you look, you see fishing carts. People are selling fish. People are buying fish. And people are haggling and bartering. Carts are leaving with fish. Carts are coming into the gate empty, ready for more barter and trade. Despite this small size of this village, it is absolutely buzzing with activity.
Small child, is there a tavern or a bar around here? I could take a moment to rest up, and I think it'd be a good spot to find conversation about people who might have passed through.
Yeah, the watering hole.
Yep, that checks out.
This place reminds me of a mythical island I once visited, one of the many bodies of water in this world. A little place called Seattle. Kind of has that look to it, that feel to it. Met a woman there once. I was gonna kind of look back down the book and keep scrolling and walk towards following 3-piece.
I've been to
Two
Seattle.
things.
To
Two
Seattle.
things.
The windy
Andrew,
city.
Andrew flawlessly world building for Porter. Number 2, scrolling in a book is wild.
just with his finger. Just swipe.
Turning one
Not a
page at a
freaking
time.
Kindle, okay?
Your spell book is a Kindle Fire. It's a freaking leap pad.
Oh, it's a. Anyways, we could keep going. Mason, could you please give me just let's call it a history check.
Did we say what our potent rolls were? Potent rolls were?
You did not.
Mine's a
not.
19.
That's good.
I had to roll mine. Yeah, I'm keeping that.
That's a 7.
What am I looking for?
18.
Sorry, what
I
skill
think
am I
a
using?
history check would be appropriate.
Oh, I get advantage on history checks.
Sick.
Nat 20, baby.
Wow.
Nat 20, baby.
Let's go. So you guys follow this little girl
Let's go.
towards the watering hole. However, one thing Mason actually, so that is
Mason's
perfect.
there?
Gosh. That's perfect.
Threw a sword
So-
through him.
Pairing 3CS's history check. Goffrey and Ivar, go ahead and just give me perception checks as well.
Are we going to meet Chris Hansen at this watering hole?
No.
Perception,
Maybe.
you said?
Yep.
Chris Hansen at this watering hole?
18.
No, 16. Dang it.
All right, you both notice something a little odd. While the girl is leading you, Grecius is actually walking side by side with her and turning in all the right places that she's turning without actually following her. It's almost like they're leading you two.
Interesting. It's almost like our boy 3S has been here before.
Probably has.
Do you think he's attuned with that girl?
Like a magic item?
I don't know. He just
Are
seems
you-
to be going everywhere she goes before she goes, but at the same time.
Are you saying that Leora is a Horcrux for Theseus?
All I'm saying is I met a small man once on an island that I may or may not allow to be destroyed. I took him on a little adventure and he died. Lo and behold, he could never talk. And now I was attuned to him because we were friends, and I'm witnessing the same thing happen with Threus and Leonard. So that's all.
What are you talking about back there?
Here's the thing, Ivar's not a very smart guy. But that's called a friendship, not attunement. Are you,
Anyways, and I just want to
do
kind of
we
like
need to talk about something?
I just want to walk just a step ahead of Ivar, but still following.
You are at this point having to run.
I'm just in a slight jog.
It's a jog.
I picture Goffrey's kids someday on the playground. Instead of asking someone if they want to be friends, do you want to attune?
Here's the deal. Having played a character that's met both of Goffrey's kids, that's
Yep.
accurate.
That is.
Fair.
That's
fair.
so fair.
Oh,
Can
man.
Can I use the For Whom the Bell Tolls ability on Leora?
Yeah.
I want to know how many hit points she has.
Wild.
She has 40 hit points.
Based.
I'm gonna use Giant's
all I
Rage on Leora.
What the?
Chris Hansen's definitely going to be at this bar.
He's gonna be here.
So as you keep pace one with another, you approach the watering hole. She says, "There it is. I can't go in. I'm not old enough."
Great, you're coming in, and I
Put my hand behind her back and push her in as we walk in.
She kind of opens the door first. You enter the watering hole. It's a warm, It's got a warm glow that spills around the room, inviting everyone in there. The building itself is a mix of sturdy stone and rich, dark wood. It's actually got ivy climbing up the walls and lanterns flickering softly around the room. There's a sign above the door, carved the watering hole. You push open the oak door, and you're immediately greeted with a live yet cozy atmosphere. You can smell the scent of roasting meats, freshly baked bread, and lots of cooked fish. The sound of laughter, clinking mugs, the soft strumming of a lute from a man in the corner fills the air. In the center of the room, maybe unlike other taverns that you've seen before, is a small pool. Perhaps you'd expect to see a dance floor there, but this pool is surrounded by smooth stones and a few elegant steps that lead down towards the water. Fishing poles line the edges of this deep pool that seems to drop off quickly into the dark depths that invite the onlooker into a mysterious world held below the surface.
I swear I've seen a place like this before in that island, Seattle. This is so crazy.
4 for the table. I'll be sitting down. Godfrey, do your thing.
Ivar, before entering, has already had his hood up. And I've placed
Leora on the inside of the bar, the booth, like on the inside of, right next to Theseus.
and I'm sitting across from him.
A orc lady walks up to you and
Always.
she says, not supposed to be any kids in here.
She's actually 437.
Yeah, ma'am, she's not a kid, so
She's a dwarf. How dare you?
yeah. This day and age?
Wow. That sounds like a free round in the house.
Let me ask my boss. And she walks away.
Well done, boys.
Same brain cell.
Well
Same
done,
brain cell.
boys. Well done, boys.
We immediately turned an already problematic orc
Barmaid into an ageist.
I'm gonna. They're at the table. I'm gonna walk up and just sit at the bar. Is there anyone else up there?
There is a dwarf, just kind of doing his thing back there, getting some drinks ready, setting them on the bar. Sees that you're there.
Before you walk away, says, whole milk, and I swear to God, if it's not whole milk, bad things. Bad things.
You and your deities. I'm just gonna walk up and sit at the bar.
You walk up and sit at the bar.
Leo, you are a genuinely fantastic drawer. There's your journal is quite impressive.
Thanks.
I'm very sorry about this whole situation.
Yeah, you killed my dad.
I did not do anything. Ivar killed your dad. We were simply there. I didn't stop it.
Yeah, you killed my dad.
Do I sit by anyone at the bar, or is it just me and the bartending dwarf?
There is it's at the bar. It's just you and the bartending dwarf.
Yeah.
Leora looks to Mason and says, "Well, I appreciate your
Mason's here?
kindness." Oh,
I'm
my
gonna throw a
God.
sword through him.
Somebody get this guy up.
Throw a sword through it.
You know what? I can fix this. She turns to Theseus and she says, "Well, I appreciate you saying that, but if all is okay with you, I'd rather not speak."
Understandable. Me neither.
Savage.
Silence.
I'm just gonna knock on the table or on the bar top and just, friend, can I get your finest whole milk, please.
Oh, we've only
And-
got skim.
That's fine. Just
Ivar hears skim, stands up and goes, "That's just water pretending to be milk," and then cast hex. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, wait. Last bottle of the good stuff here. Whole milk it is. Is that what
Thank
you
you.
want?
I'm not. Do you? Nah. Well, do you have any dragon claw?
I'm sorry, son. We serve real drinks here.
That's fine. I
You
visited-
would.
I visited a
threw
place
my
like
sword
this
through him.
before. This place called Seattle, and they had
Oh,
they had
yeah.
Dragon's Claw.
I'll
I
bet
didn't
they
know
had
if
lots of dragon claw there.
sister
I've heard of it.
cities. Like I didn't know if like this was a situation here. Like so, I figured I just asked.
Yeah. I know the type. My cousin actually is from there.
Shocking. And you actually have an accent of the people there. So that's
I'll take great offense to that, actually.
that's fine. They do too. I am curious.
You can't have
The-
pizza hut.
The hole in the ground over here where you guys have the leak. What is that?
You must not be from around here. Or, I mean,
Just-
are you a tourist?
My acquaintances and I, we are just swinging through, and figured this fine establishment, looked like the place to be, and so we stopped
Oh,
in.
it's a place to be, all right. As a matter of
And,
fact, it's been voted the place to be 4 years in a row now. And where you are is the watering hole, the finest watering hole around. Now, what we got running there is one of our famous whale springs. You see, if you don't know much about a town here, there's quite the anomalies happening all around you. We're right up against the coast where the salt air provides wonderful bounty of fish. But in a couple places around town, including right here in my bar, we've got a few of the freshwater whale springs. Now, these springs are connected through many underground tunnels. And so we get a variety of freshwater fish that come around. So it's the only place in the entire continent that you can have access to freshwater fish and saltwater fish, and it makes for a booming business, let me tell you.
That's awesome. My friend, what did you say your name was?
My name is Mason.
Mason. Okay.
Throw a sword through him.
I
The castle's glass.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the information, and I appreciate your time. And I'm
Yeah.
gonna grab the milk and stand up and walk over to the table.
You want me to open a tab, or you gonna?
Yeah, put it under. I'm Leora. Just put it under that, and I'm gonna.
Oh, the blue-it girl.
Yeah, her dad said we're babysitting, and
Oh,
drinks are on him. So
roll per either persuasion or
You walked in the
Just
wrong
deception.
room, son.
Give that charisma built character a persuasion check. Yeah. See how it goes.
21.
I always knew that man was a bit odd, but if he trusts you, that doesn't mean I do, but whatever. Carry on.
Yeah,
He's got
Trust
quite a
us.
tab here anyway, so.
thanks, Mike. We appreciate your hospitality here so much. And I'm just gonna grab the milk and walk away.
Another great GM.
It's when two DMs clash.
So I'm gonna swing in, sit on the table, set the milk in front of Ivar, and explain to the group that I have a.
Is it whole milk?
Yeah. I have a business proposition for you all.
You have a business proposition for us.
Yeah.
Also, did you not pay?
No, Blue it paid. Terry
Oh,
pops
good.
and said thanks, and I just wink at Leora. And then I want to...
She cries.
Trauma bonding. Trauma bonding.
Leora, I
can-
also don't have any family. That's a fun fact.
Same.
The guy in the picture did.
What?
Anyways, if we can convince Mason to give us this bar, we have substantial income to fund all our merry adventures. And think about it, 3-piece. All the people you could kill because of the money you'd make here. It's incredible.
Why? Wait. Why is this place so
It's
money?
the only place on the whole continent that has freshwater fish and saltwater fish capabilities.
Is that what the hole in the ground is?
Yes.
Leora kind of pipes up. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like our whole town's thing is we have got, to the south, we've got the coast where fishing is aplenty. And then in the center of town, we have this really big pool that, the water, the fresh water comes and people line around it all the time and catch huge fish. And as she says that, you start to notice one of the things is this tavern is decorated with what seem to be almost like measurements of trophies of fish that have been caught here or around, of various fish types, and records set along or records of these fish ordain the walls. And she said, yeah, I mean, like, that's why people come here, is to buy and sell the fish. It's a pretty big deal.
Listen, I love that idea. No bad ideas. Did you ask if anyone here saw the men that were looking to kill?
I'm going to shoot you straight, 3-piece. I don't know who we're trying to kill.
Okay, so there was one that reminded me greatly of you. There was one that was like a werewolf man. There's one that was like a clown, something or other. And then there was my target, I believe, was the last one.
And mine.
And for a moment, I get a really sad look on my face, as if like I know who you're talking about, and then I'm just gonna be like, "Oh, those guys. Yeah. No, he didn't mention them."
Leora, have you seen these men? You seem to have drawings of each of us.
Leora pipes up and she says, "What's the matter?" Feeling some emotion.
No. So. Answer the question.
And I want to reach into my pocket.
She reaches into her pocket, and she pulls out a middle finger and just.
I like her.
And then she
can
says,
stay.
"No, I don't know anything about what you're talking about.
Perfect.
Werewolves have pretty much been taken care of completely. I mean, if you're saying a pirate, he looks like a pirate. So I would just assume that if you described a pirate that looked like him, I would assume you were talking about him. And what you said the other ones looked like, or
Listen,
A
my memory is
rhino.
not the greatest.
a rhino. I mean, there's the dead one that you had.
There's more.
I want to open the book back up and flip to the page that had. Wait, you didn't say 3-piece. 3-ish was in it, right? He's not in
Correct.
the book.
Reese's is
Correct.
not.
I want to do I want to scroll back to my page.
Yeah.
Real quick. And can I do an investigation or maybe a history check to see if it's actually truly me, or did I just let my hubris assume it was me?
Oof.
Yes, you scroll back through and you take a closer look and you kind of go through the details. On this particular day, Captain Sharzar captured Goffrey, the fierce, dread pirate of their 19 seas. He was apprehended along with several members of his crew. Some escaped. One crew member, considered to be of high priority, was immediately rushed to Redora, where he remains behind bars in hopes of rehabilitation. And oddly enough, that in hopes of rehabilitation is in quotes.
Can I do a history check to see if I remember this?
Yeah, you kind of insert Fool's Gold episode here. You kind of think back through that time. You know that 2 was taken quickly away. He was there when you got there, so that might be who they're talking about. The rush order from. You remember Sharzar was the captain who set the trap and sprung the trap on you.
It was me.
Yeah, this is all lining up. There's a detail about a man losing his arm.
Crazy. Okay.
In quotes, he said something about he claimed it was an accident, but he clearly chopped off my arm.
Oh, good times. Okay, I remember.
So, what, gentlemen, as we take this short rest, wink, wink, is our goal? What are we doing as a team? Because we need a direction to head towards.
Well, I feel like we have a list.
I also feel like we have a list. There's some men who need to die.
This man's possibly daddy issues.
I don't have a dad.
Okay. Well, his crew, I didn't like the way they looked at any of us. On top of 3CS's target, which who are you trying to find?
DM, as I open my mouth and tell them.
Yeah, I don't even know if he ever gave you his name. He just was a southern charm of a man whose bells were way past due.
There was some man who had a southern accent who it's time for his life to be cut off.
All right. And then Rhinox. There's a few other people thrown on top of there. The new king.
There's a
the warden. The pirate crew, which is involved in the pirate crew. The new king. Rhinox. Southern Belle.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then the question stands, from here, how do we find them? Rhinox is obviously probably either dead back there or in his castle. I would be fond of searching down and hunting the Southern Belle, quote-unquote, man. And if Goffrey is saying he doesn't have a father, then whatever must be done there is done, because I'm assuming that man is with my target.
Southern Belle sounds charming. I'll go look for him with you.
Well, I'm thinking if this was the only way out of the prison, or at least the nearest town to the escape we used, I'm assuming the gentlemen that we met were here before, and they probably took a ship, as they had a captain amongst them, if we are on a seaside town. Are we on water, Porter?
You are not. You are on what appears to be the mainland.
But there just happens to be connecting tunnels here, freshwater. Okay.
I would say that I'm new in town. And when you're hunting, the more information, the better.
Agreed.
So, if the direction of the werewolf and the pirate and the Southern Belle is more information, then count me in.
How about drinks been delivered yet? Can we get
Leora.
those?
Right about then, I checked with my boss, and he said it was fine. Sorry
Good.
for assuming your age based on your appearance. It's something I'm working on.
Do not do it again.
You got a drink. Oh, great, cool. What else would you guys like to drink? I'm new here.
Well, if you're new here, you're not going to be any more help to us. Go away.
Well, that's kind of. I mean, it seems kind of rude. I mean, like, this is my first.
Leave.
Okay, and she leaves.
Gentlemen, would you join me in communicating with Mason about perhaps seeing if he's seen these gentlemen come through?
By communicating, do you need me to lock the front door?
Well, there's onlookers. I'd rather not have to fight a room full of all these people. I will if it comes to it.
Onlookers or...
Why don't we ask the
Dinner,
girl?
if it comes to it. She just said she hasn't seen them.
Yeah, but couldn't she ask him if he's seen any people recently rehabilitated who've been released from prison, who've passed through here? Her father is paying for the drinks after all. And I wink at her.
Flips you off again.
Well, technically they haven't been rehabilitated, have they? They left the same way we have, so they wouldn't be marked down as rehabilitated.
I would
Unless
also
they
say...
said they were going to be.
I would also say we shouldn't spend too much time in town.
Yes.
News of the jail will reach here soon.
I'm going to stand up and I'm going to walk up to the bar.
I'll join.
I'll grab Leora.
I'm going to knock on the table and I'll be like, Max, we got a question for you.
Wait, are you talking to me?
Yes, you
Yeah,
miss.
I stand Leora up on the table.
We've had some friends pass through here recently, and we're going to be honest with you. They're probably looking for a ship, or it looks like a gang kind of like us almost too. Have you seen them? And if so, which way do they go? And we have a pretty penny waiting for you
Bribery to get everywhere, sir.
to give us the correct answer.
There's a pirate man. There's a man with a southern accent. There is a large hairy man, not like him. And one other that I can't remember right now.
For point of order, the fourth was a tiny, very slimy,
Yeah.
gross-looking man who
Small, slimy man.
kept talking about Varric being a wonderful contribution to his circus.
That's right.
I remember him.
Have you seen these individuals?
Gosh, it seems like something out of a bit of a time machine, to be honest with you. I mean, big furry creatures. Usually they... No offense, sir, I don't know you, I've never met you. Apart from our king, they typically tend to be of the foul and evil lot taken care of by, guards or whatever that may be. I haven't seen big furry creatures besides you in these parts or any parts in
It's good to know everyone here is
several
racist.
years. Yeah. As far as pirates go, I mean, that's pretty well taken care of. I think they just got the last major one, like just maybe less than a week ago. They nabbed dread pirate Goffrey.
So that wasn't the question. The question was, did these men come through your bar? You're wasting my time, and I'm not okay with it.
You're in my establishment, eating my food and drink. I'll take the time to tell my stories as I see damn well fit. But
I want
No.
to rub.
Let me know.
I want to rub Ivar's back, and then as I'm rubbing his back, I just want to say, "Shh," and cast silence over us, like our grouping, including Mason, and then I'm gonna just say, Ivar, please inform our friend of the information we're looking for.
Nothing. So in silence, anything in the circle is. There's no noise.
So
Ivar.
So it's not that sound doesn't go outside of it, unless Porter's ruling differently.
No, it's silent in our thing. You're right.
yeah, but
So I would
I
cast.
like where this is going if we can
Yeah, I like
get
it.
there another way.
Could I have? No, that's good. Could I have locked the front door?
We did talk about it.
Yes, maybe as that conversation going, you go over to the front door and just kind of lock it in a few.
I'll slide a hand in if you want me to.
Yeah. Roll
You
sleight
could-
hand or stealth.
You could say the thing to Ivar beforehand.
A natural 20.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah, I'll just do it. That as I am casting it, like rubbing his back, I'm just gonna say, "Get our information, please," and then we just
The front
so
door.
we'll
I've
go
nodded. Yeah,
silent.
I've nodded to 3CS. The front door is locked.
I'm going to take Leora, and just step back a few steps.
As you take her away, I pull the dagger out of her waistband.
And fluid motion put it through Mason's hand onto the bar, so he's stuck in place.
All this happens very, very quickly. What's going on there? What do you want to know?
And I will grab his shirt and pull him closer, putting pressure on his hand that's on the knife. And I will say, I haven't eaten in a day. Answer the questions as he asks them.
Fierce look of determination on his face as he attempts to fight off just the searing pain. Speak your piece then. What do you want to know?
Is it
Did any
24
new people-
intimidation?
Nice.
I have advantage on intimidation. It's great.
Have any new people passed through the town besides us in the last few days?
It's a
It's the last
tourist
day.
town. 60% of everyone coming through my
Noticeable
door is new
people.
people.
Big pirate hat.
No.
Hairy man.
No.
Small slimy
Slimy.
man.
Also to make this just a quick sentence to make this spell make sense, I will have casted it on everyone in the room and not on us.
Okay. Yeah. Let's play that out.
That plays how I've used the spell before. And it's a
Yeah.
20-foot radius, so it should cover.
Yeah.
If it's like 2 or 3 tables, that should cover them.
The only thing with that is I'll say people eventually realize that their like conversations are now silent and kind of like get a little bit trying to figure out what's going on. But like in the buzz and commotion of it, you guys are. This is playing out.
Sorry to intervene.
There's been nobody new coming through that's anything like what you're described.
If you don't give us direction to head right now, any information, something new, or if you can point us to someone who will lead us to something new, I'm dragging my sword across your throat. Tell us anything.
Listen, it's not like I can't. It's not like I wouldn't help you if I could. I'm not concerned with who's here and who's not here unless they're paying me money. The witch knows all the things. The witch keeps tabs on everyone. The witch knows everything that happens in this town. You can't sneeze without the witch knowing about it.
Was that so hard to say there was an omnipotent being that knows everything about the town? If we're asking about someone new, and you were saying there's someone that knows everything about the town, tell us faster next time. I'm going to chop his hand off.
Let's go.
Yeah. It just happens. I mean, it's his hand would be what I would consider restrained. So, chops his hand off. He immediately like, but as like he's pulling away, right?
He
So
goes
he's
to
pulling
scream,
back.
and
Ivar's hand, just almost his whole face is on Ivar's hand, covering his mouth from screaming.
He
And then just
he,
put him into silence.
Yeah.
he begins screaming in the silence. This is very interesting. Who currently, or what did you guys? Could you maybe potentially remind me who's keeping tabs on Leora?
you were.
It was me. I was
Three
holding
Seasons-
on to her.
Okay.
Chopped the hand with the other one.
Cool. Just checking. Just seeing if there's an out. And there's not.
No outs.
So she basically mortified at this point. But the dwarfs begin screaming in pain. It's thrown into the silence, and people see him and his hand chopped off and begin to panic, and the general buzz in the room begins to panic and be uncertain, and people start standing up, people start reaching for their weapons, people start scuffling a little bit. It gets very confusing very, very quickly.
You see a small smile come across Ivar's face as he draws a great axe in one hand and a battle axe in the other. And I look at you two and I say when.
Leora, where's the switch? When?
And
I'll
I was like, have you ever seen a blender?
Leora, do you know where the witch is?
We know where the witch is.
I have a rough idea. I kind of found it on accident once, but I know the general idea. I drew a tree, and she points at the journal that you have of hers.
And I'm just going to say, let's go. And I'm going to snap my fingers so silence is removed. But when I snap my fingers in front of us, it looks like the bar is normal with prestidigitation. And we're going to walk out the door.
A small little illusion spell. Oh, yeah.
Who taught? All right.
Andrew read the
Wow.
book, bud.
Wow.
Andrew read the book.
Wow.
I feel like
Ivar, battle axe. Great axe away.
a little sad.
oh,
So you guys exit the bar?
I will say, when I chopped the hand off, there was no blood, at least from the hand's side, because it all just drained into my sword. Anyways,
Nice.
we move forward.
Yeah, I picture like 3-piece probably throwing her over his shoulder so we could like exit quickly, and it just being boom. It looks like the front of the. Looks like the bar's normal, and they can't see
the
us when we
tree.
walk out. We race outside.
Did that count as a short rest?
Sure.
Yeah.
I think that's
Oh,
That was my
take
intention.
that. That's all I needed.
yes, sir.
As a fighter and a warlock, we're back, baby.
Okay.
I was hoping somebody would swing at us, and I was like, "Oh, give me a reason.
I
Give
know
me
you
a
were.
reason."
I know you were.
It was great.
So,
Thank you. No, I'm good. I was totally good with you. Like, hold on. Like, it makes sense. I was like, let's not spill a ton of blood in the first time we go to. We're trying to keep a low profile. And I was
We've
like,
kidnapped a small child and we've cut off a man's hand. Now we're looking for a witch. Let's just get about our business.
What you have to understand is Ivar's intelligence and wisdom is -1.
We've been in prison for the equivalent of 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it was like he's a hammer. You just point out the nails, and you said there was no nails, so he put the hammer away.
I'm back up to 61 hit points with my short rest dice. Hit dice roll.
Oh yeah, I need to do that.
all right.
And I got basically all my Blood Hunter stuff back.
So you exit the tavern. You begin to make your way. She begins leading you in a super familiar path that she actually just took not a couple hours ago down the road. She kind of stops in a place that feels, or her pace slows down in a place that's very familiar to her, and she kind of looks around to see if anyone's around.
Why we stopped?
Well, she was actually just here this morning. I just wanted to see if she was back, but I don't see her, so let's just keep moving. So she continues on towards the woods. And
Wait, you've seen this witch today?
yeah, everyone knows who she is. She's freaking crazy. She's been around for like ever. I guess I
Sounds like your type, Goffrey.
She kind of knows like everything and everyone, and it's kind of like she's really weird. Okay.
Not too scary. Lead the
Do
way.
you understand how much time you could have saved us if this is where we went first? I do understand we asked you to take us to the nearest town, but you realize our intention, correct? Try meeting a snack.
Yeah, where did you get?
He grabbed a
Grab some
handful-
peanuts from the bar.
Yes, I was going to say he grabbed some bar peanuts.
I was hungry, okay? Relax, let it go.
Listen, bud. You said take me to a tavern. I took you to a tavern. You didn't say we're searching for a band of, I don't know, counterparts, and we need to know exactly who they are and where they came from. And
Well, now, for next time, now we know. That's what we're searching for. So thank you. Let's go to this tree.
okay. She begins to lead you through the woods. And it starts along a similar path as what you took to get there, but it does kind of start to veer harder west. The woods get thicker. The trees grow bigger
Thicker.
and thicker. The trees get thick, and they branch higher and in every direction. The warm, wonderful day is starting to be blotted out, first very subtly as you enter these woods, but then the trees and their branches completely block out the sun and turn it into what is mostly more of what would resemble a cloudy or overcast day. Light gets a little harder to see as you continue to step through this small, thin path that winds through the woods. And as you continue on, even your feet move from the sturdy ground of a footpath to more of a mushy, swampy step by step. And she continues to take you further in. Unnatural and natural annoyances start to appear. More bugs. The sounds of the forest change from that of squirrels and chirping birds to what sound more like buzzards and lizards and creepy crawlies crawling around dead, rotted logs. The smells change to more of a musty and musky and damp, thick, humid air, as well as you kind of head into this darker part of the woods. Is there anything anyone would like to do along the way?
What can you tell us about this witch? Sorry, Goffrey, go ahead.
That's what I was gonna ask.
She's been around for forever, and well, one time when I was wandering around when I was a young warthog wandering around, I got dared to go into this part of the woods before, and this was before I'd mapped it out and kind of got a good feel for it. So I went into the woods and I got lost, and I found this big tree, and I drew it in my journal, and it was pretty obvious, like, oh, this isn't a tree, this is a house. And so I went up to it to see if I could get some help or someone could point me out, and that's when I found out that the witch lives there, because that place was filled with weird stuff. She's got all these cages and all these animals and all these little cages, and I kind of got curious and I started poking around, and that's when I saw that picture of what kind of looks like you, and except it was you and then a woman about the pictures, like the you in the picture's age. There was a woman, and then there was a little girl in there too, and the little girl looked really familiar, but like I couldn't quite place it too. But I haven't figured that out. It's one of my little like to-dos and a little side quest for myself, if you will. But like that's where I saw the photo.
You know, people
And-
can look like other people and not be them, correct?
Well, yeah, I'm just telling you what I saw. You know, and so I got out of there. I was like, this is bad. I started hearing some things rustle around, so I got out of there. And then that's when kind of I figured, well, if this is the dark part of the forest, then probably if I just head south, I'll hit the coast. And so I eventually found my way back home because I'm very smart like that. But yeah, everyone knows that the witch is crazy. Everyone knows that she always comes into town. She says she's getting supplies. She orders weird things from the vendors, sometimes food. My mom told me not to talk to her. My dad tried to get to know her once. He said she was menacingly fascinating, and that was all he.
We all got
he
similar
said.
notes.
Yeah.
Does she have a name?
I think she does, but if she does, I wouldn't know it. Everyone just calls her the old witch.
All right, well,
Are we getting close?
Yeah, we're getting close, and she continues to lead you on, and at this point, the forest has become a dense swamp. And she starts to notice the same thing you start to notice, is that the path begins to not exist, but it does turn into a series of stepping stones. They're kind of out of place. There's no stones other than what these are like anywhere around, so they do seem to be trailing off into a direction. She kind of starts hopping from one to the other. Eventually, off in the distance, through the thick fog that is now creeping in, you see a tree. Larger, significantly larger than any of the other trees around it.
I'm going to draw my sword. As I do, I'm just going to drag it across my back. The blood fills into it. I'm going to activate my Crimson Right. Just because it'll last until I take another long or short rest anyways.
As you approach this tree, you notice that up in it is sort of a woven in it and around the outside is sort of a fort. The wood of it is very dark and old. Most of it seems rotting. The tree itself only seems to pulsate what normal people would consider an evil or foul presence. But those are emotions that are not unfamiliar to the likes of you. There's a rickety wooden ladder that leads up to a large door, very similar to the one sketched in Leora's notebook. The door is currently shut. And Leora gets up to a certain point and she says, "Okay, there it is. But you're not gonna make me go in there, right?"
For sure, you know for a fact we're going to.
Yeah. You're gonna have to.
By myself?
No, with us. I'll go in first if you need to. I will,
okay.
in fact.
All right. Well,
We're not going to leave. Listen, I cut that guy's hand off. You are an asset. You actually have information and are useful. I'm not going to hurt you.
This is true.
As long as you're useful, no death comes to you.
Yeah, listen to the man.
Congratulations.
Yep. Three-piece knows best.
stay.
Three-piece does know best. I'm going to go push the door open.
You walk up to the door. The door does not immediately push open just by pushing open. This does have a door handle, by the way. And an old root of a door knocker on the front.
I'll knock it. Pah, pah, pah.
You hear from the other side of the door what sounds like fluttering.
Oh, old witch, we call for you. Help us find 4 men, a pirate, a weird slimy guy, a hairy man, and like this other one that speaks weird. Oh, come help us.
You hear
Yeah,
some rustling, and then the door opens just a smidge, and you see just this small yellow eye peering through you. What do you want? Who are you? Why are you here?
I just said it very loudly.
Who's with you? Are you alone?
No, we have a friend of yours. I'll point to Leorn.
The Blewett kid. Not a friend of mine. She's a troublemaker. She got a dagger, you know.
She does. We've taken it from her.
That's good. Kids shouldn't have daggers.
We're babysitting her for her father.
I don't believe you. How many
No,
are
we're
you?
not. There's 4. Wait.
You are 1, 2,
4 of us?
5 of us.
1, 2, 3, 4. All right, come on in. So she opens the door, and you enter her.
Come on in.
Come on in. You enter her domain.
Can I make a check for like magical traps or something?
Did she just domain expansion us?
I was just gonna say that's what I'm looking for. Did she
Cool.
pull us into a different dimension just now?
She pulls you in. And it's a really cool looking treehouse. I have started a map in D&D Beyond.
Oh.
As you enter, to the right is wouldn't you know it, a pool of what appears to be fresh, cool, clean water. To the right is a small staircase that leads you up into a little area, a little nook, if you will. A place to set a table, and in this particular table, there are 2 cups, and she goes over to a cabinet and pulls out 2 more. She sets them down, and she adds a 5th and begins to pour tea. Now, what is it that you're looking for? There's people, places, something.
Well, I'm specifically looking for the southern man. These 2 have their own priorities. Fully understandable.
We just need a couple individuals, maybe some information about them. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Okay, I see. All right. Okay, I see. All right. She begins going through her cabinets and pulling out. Do you know them very well?
Kind of. No, not really.
Okay. She puts one jar back and picks up a different one. Just do it. She walks over to a big cauldron and starts pouring things in. That should do. Okay. All right. Excellent. Any other helpful information? Anything at all?
One looks like a wolf. One is really slimy.
Oh, yes, okay.
One might be a pirate, and one has a southern accent.
They were all prisoners.
Sea salt and werewolf fang should probably do it.
Might have been a crew on a ship.
Wait, all prisoners of what?
They were all prisoners at the prison of the land of Pegasus. Prison of the land of Pegasus. Is my notes here correct? Island of Redora.
Island of Redora?
Yeah.
That's impossible. That no one gets out of there.
Yeah,
That's why we're trying to find them.
Yeah, the warden said he thought they were rehabilitated, so he kind of let them go. And
oh my gosh!
Now we're on a recall mission.
Find them, basically. Yeah,
Don't move in on my turf. Okay, all right.
Yes, silly warden.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
That's
songs.
helpful. She begins to dump a bunch of things in
His
this cauldron.
songs.
In this cauldron, she takes a giant ladle and pours out into a tea kettle. Takes a tea kettle over and pours it into the 5 cups at the table. All right. Not gonna lie to you, this stuff's trippy. Yeah, you're going for a ride. Okay. Drink up, and that should you'll see some things. Don't chase them. Stay seated, preferably. But all your answers will be made clear to you. Yes.
Just a minute. Leora, you drink it first. I just want to push the glass close to her.
She picks it, takes it. She looks at Theseus. Is this useful?
This will be useful, yes.
That same grit, that boldness and bravery washes over her, and she seemingly probably learned it not an hour and a half ago, takes it like a shot, throws it back, and just slams the cup on the table.
Respect. Hey, before you have this drug trip, you have my respect.
She goes, wait, but I'm not looking for anyone. And then the witch says, oh, well, you'll probably just get the runs then. And all right. How long? So I see what you're doing. How long do you want to wait before she's not going to die? Okay.
I'll take it.
Big fella. The witch takes it.
Ivar looks at the witch and says, oh, there's things I want to say, but I'm like, Ivar just goes, if anything happens to me, the girl, or these 2 guys, I will haunt you. And then he'll take it.
If anything happens to you, the girl, or those 2 guys, I think you would have already forgotten about it. Why don't you guys give me a perception check?
Oh, shoot.
13. Well, this is where Ivar dies.
24.
Is the 24? All right, we're good. I got a 3. I was gonna use my port and roll on it, but
as you look around the room, there are some things. Anyone with honestly above a 10. This is the first time you've actually taken in your surroundings. One of the things you see is an owl perched in the corner, just watching you this entire time, fascinated with your arrival. On this lower level of this treehouse, you see cages filled with critters. There's a sparrow in one, a squirrel in another, and a rabbit and a third. These are the things that you take in right before you black out. Some time goes by, and you all wake up. The room you wake up to is the same room, but very different in many ways. 1, the witch is gone. 2, the animals are gone. And all of a sudden, you remember something. All 3 of you remember the same thing at the same time. A key memory has returned to you now that that's worn off. Wait, where the frick is Varric? He was with us all day, wasn't he? Someone can give me an Arcana check.
Do you want mine? I don't think you want mine.
13.
That is way lower than that.
25.
Yeah.
I have
25.
advantage. Not
Um,
gonna get higher than a 25.
3CS feels the effects of a memory spell starting to dissipate. Varric's been missing all day. But for whatever reason, you, 3 strong individuals, a spell has passed through your system. A normal person would live their entire life under the effects of this spell, never remembering the key piece of information that the spell was targeting. But you 3 are not ordinary individuals. You're powerful villains. And so the effects of that drug have now worn off. Varric's gone. The witch is gone. Your new NPC is there, unconscious.
Yes.
Thank God. I could care less about anything else, you know.
And if you were to check her notebook, there's actually a 4th description of someone she originally saw in the glade at the beginning of her day. It's of a short, fluffy rabbit with a top hat.
I know him.
But she forgot.
And where?
What the heck?
So you're all now in the witch's bottom floor. The witch is gone, and the critters are gone. And with way more questions than answers, that's what will end this session. Thanks so much for taking the time to listen to this episode, and some extra spice in this episode, which you may have noticed, is brought to you by a few of our new friends. The extra auditory experience in this episode was supplied by our new friends and the bard that fits in your pocket. Pocket Bard is a great way to add immersive and dynamic audio to your in-person TTRPG game sessions. Pocket Bard, check it out. Ton of the ambience, ton of great scenes. We really loved adding it to this episode. And some other tools that were really helpful to have were brought to us by our new friends over at WorldSmith.io. You can directly support this adventure by clicking the referral link to start generating magical and mythical tools for your campaign tables. WorldSmith.io. Build your greatest campaign yet in minutes. Check out WorldSmith.io to start your free trial today. There's a link in the description. And last but not least, we want to thank our Patreons, Jeremiah Kine, Richard Henson, Todd Justice, AJ Garcia, Tay Smark, Adam Lee, Andrew Ellers, Garrett Emery, Nick Morgan, 3, Colin McMeekin, Ben Vipond. Without you guys, this would not be possible, and we would not be able to do the things we do. Thank you so much for listening to this episode and supporting it in any way that you do.
That's
Fire.
wild, dude.
I chopped a
Oh, yeah.
guy's hand off.
Did chop a hand off.
Low key got scared chills when you said there's a fourth person that she saw in the glade. I actually got
Yeah.
like a little bit of like tingles of like
I was like,
horror.
I was like,
interesting.
are you about to Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego us?
Because what the heck are you talking
There
about?
was a fourth man in the fire.
If you're still listening to this episode, do us a favor. Go subscribe to us on YouTube. Check us out on Patreon. If you're listening in one of those two locations, go on over to Spotify so you can listen to this while we're in the car. Check us out in all those different locations. Thank you so much for listening. And we will catch you next time.
Good night, nerds.